In case you missed it, Doug DeMuro sold his 1997 Land Rover Defender 90 on his Cars and Bids auction site last week. If you're one of the 5 million people that follow Doug's channel, this is kind of a big deal, and I'm going to tell you why. Before we launch into today's example, if you're new to the channel, I'm Trey, and this is Vintage Photo Auctions. We vet all the truck and 4x4 category auctions on Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids and highlight only the top tier vehicles from this segment. So if you're in the market for a vintage 4x4, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye on these auctions. Our hope is this simple video format also encourages interaction with viewers on vehicle condition and ending price points. Before we jump into all the details of Doug's 1997 Defender 90, we've got a new feature for the channel. If you live in the Denver metro area, send us an email at the address listed on the screen if you have a vintage four-wheel drive you want featured on the channel. We look forward to your emails. This is going to be a lot of fun.
This is my 1997 Land Rover Defender 90. I've owned it for 7 years. It's been a part of my family, and now I'm selling it on Cars and Bids with no reserve. So we'll skip to it here. For those in the car community, this came as a bit of a surprise. For one, Doug owned this 1997 Defender 90 for 7 years, which is the longest he's owned any vehicle. This rig's also been with him at those critical moments in life: wedding, honeymoon, and countless trips to the beach. This is also the first car he registered in California after moving from the East Coast. And how can we forget him running over an Audi all-road in this Defender 90? Well, as with life, it's time to move on. It's time to simplify. He also already has a more modern equivalent with his 1999 G500 Cabriolet. But this is definitely a sweet Defender. We're going to be going into all the detail. So you heard it in Doug's own words. He's selling his Land Rover Defender 90. This is a 97 Land Rover Defender NAS soft top in 2A yellow. This thing's got a lot of history, as you heard. We've heard the reasons why he's selling it. But for now, we're going to go through this vehicle. We're going to go through this Cars and Bids listing, top to bottom, go through all the pictures, do a little pricing comparison, see if this new buyer got a good deal or a great deal. So starting out, you've heard me talk about the NAS Defender. I've had a 95 in the past, so I'm a big fan. These were limited edition vehicles brought into the United States in 94, 95, and 97. By all regards, the 97 is the most desirable. Just give you a quick recap. And that's primarily because two reasons. One, it's the last year of the NAS Defender, which stands for North American Series. It's also got an automatic transmission. So when it comes to so-called practicality, this is the most practical you're going to get in a Land Rover Defender 90. So looking at this Defender, like we said, it's got a lot of history. It did sell for $96,000. So we're going to get into all these details. Is this a good deal? Is it a great deal? Like I said, and we're going to look at comparison from a pricing standpoint on Bring a Trailer and just go through this. So before we jump into the pictures, let's get a little detail here. This Defender did have 84,000 miles on it, 7-year history with Doug DeMuro. This is in 2A yellow, really great color. You've seen, I have another video, full video. I'll link it at the end of this video, but one of my favorite colors. Looks really great, especially in person. This one, a lot of standard equipment, a few modifications. I do like the 4 inward-facing jump seats. That's a nice addition. For example, my NAS 95 also had those, but that was a station wagon. They don't typically come in the soft top convertible. It typically has a rear bench seat, so this looks nice. Also, I think it's practical, gives you a little bit more room. You can fold those up. A few other modifications here. Does have some known flaws. Exterior chips. There's some weathered pieces, wear on the seats. He does detail some rust on the exterior and some of the hardware. hazard lights are inoperable. One of the ones that I saw called out was that this is a air conditioning delete, and this really just comes also down to practicality. These air conditioners were never great to begin with, and they just take up a bunch of space, especially if you're tall, just cuts into your legroom. Now, the other added bonus of this one, we're going to go through the pictures. I think by all regards, it's in very good condition, but awesome service history as well. Obviously, Doug has the means as the owner of this site and a successful YouTube channel with over 5 million subs to be able to afford and put his money into this. Any service item has been done. You can see this with this extensive service history. So those are the pluses. Let's get into the pictures here. Really, like I said, the 2A yellow is one of my favorites. We're going to do, 10, 15 pictures per segment, exterior, interior, mechanical, etc. So just moving around this vehicle, the 2A yellow shines very well. These are professional photos. You've heard me talk about this before. That adds a lot of value. I think, one, there's the cachet, obviously, if this is Doug DeMuro's 97 Defender 90, but this just shows up really well in these pictures. Really nice head-on shot. He's got the LED lights. Again, these just have a very timeless, rugged look and feel to them. Not sure. A lot of the pictures, he has a different license plate. I think this stands for Yes in My Backyard. Not sure what he's referring to, but another nice shot, clean shot of the Defender. We're going to look for some of those items they called out. I do see a little corrosion on the bumper, slight bit on the undercarriage, but this is very clean. Really nice looking Defender. You can start to see those inward facing jump seats in this picture here, close up. Nice stance on this Defender with the BFG all-terrains. Again, nice shots. I think this is in Mission Bay in San Diego, so really nice place for photographs. Now, these were, by all accounts, very Spartan. We're going to move into the interior. This one had the amenities of having a automatic transmission. Other than that, they're pretty utilitarian, but that's by design. And that's actually one of the reasons why these were discontinued for North America. This NAS series was due to safety, not meeting safety thresholds and criteria. It really just made more sense to stop the importation of these and end the NAS series. You can see the cloth seats, the inward-facing jump seats. This is, by all accounts, he's got the pictures of the beach. This is the Beachmobile. Love this thing. 84,000 miles on the clock. Again, the yellow is one of my favorites. I could go through a litany of other colors, the Arliss blue, Coniston green, etc. They are all very nice in their own regard. And with this one, this is what we're seeing here. This is some of the corrosion and rust that he's talking about with some of the hardware. Keep going. Close-up view. Likely some of the beach exposure. Bird's eye view from the top. You can see some of the rust and corrosion there as well in the seating. Love to see some of the photos of the undercarriage. Wow, okay. Definitely seeing some rust there as well. Now, the thing I'll say with this, with these auction sites, Cars and Bids, Bring a Trailer versus, Auto Trader or something like that, there is full transparency. So you're getting the full view, you're getting the exterior, interior, everything in between, the mechanical, the undercarriage, etc. So point being, a buyer is informed when they make these decisions. 96,000. I don't know. I want to see the pricing on this. Again, these are the NAS Defender was a limited series. The 97 is the last year. So a lot of desirability with this. I think this is pretty much in between from a pricing standpoint. We're going to see, I pulled a few comparables using pricing on Bring a Trailer. We'll get into that. Looks like the undercarriage may have been treated at some point. Seeing what appears to be some sort of undercoat. It may have been detailed in the auction. We'll have to circle back. Some corrosion, some rust, some oxidation. Okay, so we've gotten a fair view. Let's take a look at the documentation here. Like we said, I mean, this was owned for 7 years by Doug DeMuro. I believe this site was bought by Hemmings or one of the big sites in around 2020. That's why there was that feature article about him you saw in the video. No expense was spared. So from a mechanical, from a work done, from a work needed standpoint, this is all tip top. It's got thousands of dollars of receipts, and that's good. This is what I was talking about, by the way, the license plate in Nantucket. Not sure when the YIMBY that we saw earlier came into effect. So just stacks on stacks of paperwork with this and documentation. So one thing I should call out, if you're looking at a Defender, don't expect the cost to end with the price of acquisition. These are very expensive to maintain. Not sure. These are just additional supplemental photos that were added. So when we look at a pricing standpoint, on Bring a Trailer for the NAS Defender, looks like there's one live right now. There are 181 previous auctions. This includes both European spec and NAS. And so I just perused through the past 2 years of auctions with the 97 Defender. I was very specific to the 2A yellow because these are all different buyers. You're typically not going to have a buyer that's looking for a Monza red station wagon or a white wagon or Arliss blue that's jumping between that and a 2A yellow convertible. So I wanted to be very specific. So on the low end, we have this 97 that was sold in October 2023 for $73,000. So this one has 105,000 documented miles. You're going to see a little bit of fading there with the paint. Looks like it potentially, especially with the top, could have been stored outdoors. Definitely has some sun exposure. This one is also in California. Kind of a mid-tier. You got 90,000 for this one, sold in 2022, May of 2022. This is from Greenwich. Paint looks around comparable to the other one. Good shape. So again, I think we'll have to take a look at the additional two that sold in the past 2 years on Bring a Trailer. I'd say this is more in line with Doug's, but I think Doug's was, in fairness, in better shape. Certainly the paint was. And then certainly the service records and receipts and all that documentation adds up and is important. Pretty decent long-term ownership, 7 years. On the higher end, this is one that sold in February of 2024 for 106. Now, this is a cleaner vehicle. This one's out of Florida, 37,000 miles, extremely good paint condition, also good ownership, very clean, and lower documented miles. So this one's at 106, $10,000 delta. And then the high end in the past 2 years was this 47,000 mile 97 that sold for 120 back in 2022. This was from out of Costa Mesa from a dealer there. Very good condition. Now, personal preference, not a big fan of these rims, but I think a lot of these bidders, these buyers are looking beyond that. If they have the means to pay 120 for a Defender, they can swap out the rims as they see fit. But very clean. This one, like we said, had 47,000 miles. Paint's all original. Paint's in great condition. Mechanicals were all tip top. So this really represents the high end. So looking at these comparables from a Bring a Trailer standpoint, the things that I highlight just kind of in summary with Doug's, long-term 7-year ownership history, deep pockets with Doug's ownership, and literally every service item that needed to be done was done, and addressed. Very good paint condition, some minor rust, corrosion, but overall, I think a value at 96,000 based on what I'm seeing in the marketplace. Plus, like you said, you cannot overlook the cachet of the ownership of that Defender 90 with Doug DeMuro. Some pretty cool videos on the internet with YouTube, with his channel, with both the overview, the selling video, and running over a Audi all-road. So pretty awesome.
So what do you think about Doug's 1997 Defender 90? We'd love to hear your feedback on pricing and condition in the comments. Also, as I've said before, we are a new channel. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching. See you next time for more vintage four-wheel drives.